Okay, so I just found out from the official Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter that it is the 25th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I thought it would be remiss of me to let that happen without actually doing a thing. So here's the video. Here's a video of me rambling about Sonic 2, probably gameplay of me playing Sonic 2, just to commemorate the 25th. So, anybody that follows me on any social media will probably know that I don't shut the fuck up about Sonic the Hedgehog, especially the old Sega Mega Drive games. The original game is one of my favourite, no, actually on balance, my favourite game ever. And, you know, this video is not going to go into why, but I will say that in terms of sequels, in terms of improving and ameliorating and expanding upon what an original game did, Sonic 2 is probably the sequel archetype as far as video games go. It ramps up the pace, gives the spin dash maneuver, it gives an extra character who is cosmetic only. It's just a visual change, really, a couple of stray hitboxes aside. But that's very nerdy, techie stuff. The music is the same composer as the first game, Masato Nakamura. It's actually an even better soundtrack than the first game. The graphics are right up there. There are some truly beautiful graphics that continue the whole faux CGI pre-rendered look of the original game. Everything looks kind of fake and computery on purpose. Which is great. It sort of makes the game look both retro and kind of timeless. Sonic 2 is a wonderful game, and if somebody were to ask me, that was not into the Sonic games, the 2D Sonic games, if they were to ask me where to start, I would probably point them at Sonic 2. It's a wonderful game. It's a great length. This is coming from somebody who finds Sonic 3 and Knuckles maybe a touch on the long side. But I feel like Sonic 2 nailed it. The bosses are great. All of them have like one sort of obvious attack pattern, but can be circumvented with some imagination and skill. The levels are they aren't quite so generic as later Sonic games, by which I mean not platform game generic, not generic as a whole, but generic to within the Sonic series. You know, there's a form of genericism that means almost every stage in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, for example, will have what I call a roller coaster section, where you basically roll and just watch it for a few seconds because you're going through a few loops and slopes and whatever. Sonic 2 was the last game that kind of still had some classic platforming, and I actually find that fun. I think it just juxtaposes very nicely against the more curvature-based, the more sort of 2D parkour of the Sonic layouts. And actually, I think to the series' strengths when attempting to time attack the levels, because it's all about that speedio, that kind of works, you know, getting in some of your core platform skills with the speed and the stopping to spin dash and learning when to roll, when not to roll, taking advantage of the physics. You know, I think it's a good balance. After all, Sonic the Hedgehog is at its core a platform game. Sonic 2 also has a two-player mode. It's not really noteworthy, but I feel it's got some. It's a diversion. It's worth sort of dragging in a friend, if not to get the achievements on the Xbox Live version, but other than that, just to pass some time. I do feel, although not competitive per se, it can be made fairer by switching the monitors to teleport only. A controversial choice, perhaps, but removes the randomness, and can be used for some mind games, actually. If both players know the layouts very well, there's a lot of bait and switch. Get two monitors together, you know, spin dash into a pair of them to switch and switch back just to get two more on the end of level tally where it gives you points for your monitors to try and win by another thing. You know, you can do rings time, defeats, score, which is tied to enemy defeats. You know, there can be some strategy, but all in all, it's not something you're going to be seeing at the EVO fighting game tournament or anything. But I'm rambling once more. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is great. I I feel like it really is an extension of what the first game did. You have a lot of kind of either callbacks to the old stages or reversals. For example, you start with Green Hill Zone in one of the betas. I believe it was a Nick Arcade beta. Google that. I think that was called Green Hill Zone to begin with. You have ruins, which were called Neo Green Hill Zone, but are now Aquatic Ruin. I like the kind of role reversal here, as in you swapped out the fire and lava for water. Great stuff. We have Casino Night filling in for Spring Yard Zone. Always a bizarre name, that, but Casino Night. Yeah, it's a night at the casino. Wonderful. What next? There's this space level, Starlight Zone, which I don't feel has an analogue, not properly, to in Sonic 2. Moving swiftly on. Oh yes, Labyrinth Zone. We've already had the water. We don't have anything quite so labyrinthine and traditional platformy. But Scrap Brain Zone. Yeah, that's represented very well with Metropolis Zone. I think, it's not a one-for-one reference to the original, and nor should it be. As I say, it's pretty archetypal of what a sequel should be. It makes reference to the original game without actually wholesale lifting any of its content. There are no sort of recycled layout callbacks like you may see in Sonic Mania, although Sonic Mania has a good reason for doing that. It's all in all a really good game, and actually, an earlier take of this recording, I waxed lyrical about 10 minutes for it, and I've now managed to get it down to, I'm looking at just closing in at 7 minutes. So, yeah, happy 25th anniversary, not birthday, you're not a person, Sonic 2, and I look forward to enjoying you personally for another 25 years.